The Center for American Progress has proposed. But in the meantime, you know the story of the Journal News. That's the newspaper outside of New York City that published the names and addresses of legal gun owners. Our own Judge Jeanine Goes was on that list. So last night on her show, she just taught, well, first what she did was send one of her producers to the Journal News to try to get answers for why they did this. Let's see what happened when the producer showed up.
Why won't you talk to us? Can you tell me why you guys released the names of the gun owners?
I'm sorry, I'm on the phone.
Hi, Janet. As you could see, we had the door slammed right in our face.
All right, so not terribly receptive to having a conversation and to explaining what their rationale was behind it.
Well, we already know the rationale, and Judge Pirro, I thought, put it pretty eloquently on her show. The rationale was to make a political statement, basically an editorial, about guns and tie legal gun owners to whack jobs who kill children, which she pointed out is a pretty specious and unfair, pretty outrageous comparison, really.
Yeah, and if you didn't hear it, why don't we play a piece of it for you right now? Here's Judge.
You think it's important to out us in the aftermath of the Newtown shootings? How dare you connect law-abiding citizens who've gone through rigorous background checks, who've been fingerprinted, investigated, and received judicial approval to exercise their Second Amendment right? How dare you compare them to a nut job on the lunatic fringe in desperate need of medication, playing violent video games for days at a time? This animal massacred innocent babies. He didn't have a pistol permit. He didn't go through a rigorous background check to get a pistol permit. He took someone else's gun. And by the way, although it's none of your business, there's a reason people have guns. We don't need your sanctimonious permission. And you dare put our families in danger? You pry into our lives? You put our privacy and security and our safety in jeopardy? And then you have nothing to say? How about I say it for you? You're nothing but a bunch of cowards, unwilling to defend yourselves, frozen in fear. You screwed up, period. End of story.
There you go. A very compelling argument, and she was obviously framing it to Caryn McBride, who's the Journal News editor, as well as the owner, this woman, Hasson, is the president and publisher. They are, as we understand it, the people who decided to put the names and addresses out there, and they won't engage in a conversation with Judge Jeanine or anyone else about their decision. So the judge took to her show, and she talked about at least her reason for having it is that she was a judge and a DA. She put people behind bars.
Right.
They will get out, and they could be seeking some sort of retribution.
You know, people go, okay, well, you just gave a roadmap now to criminals to say, okay, they have a gun, they don't? Okay, well, I'll go rob their house. But also she went on to say, it's none of their business in the first place.
One of the great divides in this country is between those in power, office holders who have bodyguards, and the rest of us who have to rely on 911 when something bad happens. I got a great email from one of our viewers yesterday who said, maybe we should equal the playing field. Maybe the people passing these laws ought to rely on 911 for their safety, for their families too, and see how they like it. Not much.
Not a bad idea.
Right. I mean, the level playing field, I mean, you've made this point so well, is that even the celebrities in, Hollywood who rail against gun violence. Everybody rails against gun violence, of course. The gun violence is horrible, and we have to figure it out. But the idea that, so nobody can have guns except, of course, our bodyguards. They're equipped because they're trustworthy.
But if you're delivering milk to a bodega at 3 in the morning in a crummy neighborhood, and a lot of people in, for instance, New York City are, and you're facing a real risk of armed robbery, you're putting your life on the line every day, and you're not allowed to carry a gun. But if you're in some, stupid sitcom, you've got a bodyguard who's armed? I mean, how is that fair?
Because the paparazzi is after you and stalking fans and stuff, at least they're protecting themselves. Well, the gun debate rages on, that's for sure, in a women's magazine that claims its goal is to empower women.